Hello and welcome to Hamilton West. As we're waiting for our train to Glasgow Central Low Level, our train will be pulling into platform number 1. And as the train was going to Lark Hall, we coming from Lark Hall, another train to Lark Hall had a women driver. As we're waiting for the Caledonian sleeper to pass on our train to Glasgow, we managed to get on our train. Our train arrived on time. At least that we managed to get on our train. So, at least that we managed to get on board. Our train was formed of two 320s, each as a 6-car unit. That 320s were built in 1947. And as the door was opened, we managed to get our seats for the train to Glasgow Central. And we managed to get on board. And it was a nice and quiet journey between Hamilton and Glasgow Central. The Glasgow Central is a nice station, and the low level station is really nice. As we arrive to our go to our next stop, which is Blantyre, at least that we managed to get on board our train to Glasgow Central. Now, I'm quite annoyed that a lot of people were speaking about Scottish. That's what we usually get up in Scotland, but at least then we managed to go past a couple of some sidings and the Caledonian sleeper. As we went to Blantyre, we managed to get on. We managed to see the beautiful Newton train station, which is named Newton. A lot of people call it Newton, but I call it Newton. Some people usually like to annoy people, like if they're going on the Glasgow subway, as I'll show you later in this video. And we passed this beautiful countryside with some warehouse shops going into Blantyre. Blantyre is a nice station. There's been a lot of people going to Blantyre and being as we pass through a nice countryside to get to Blantyre, that you get a nice view of B&M on the other side. So at least when we stop at Blantyre, you can get a nice view of the park. And as we're pulling into Blantyre now, we're really close. There was no announcement saying we're now approaching Blantyre. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. As we arrive in Blantyre, it says, alight here for the David Livingston Centre, which is not far from Blantyre station. And as the train quiets down, that me and my mum managed to get a nice peace and quiet up to Glasgow. Then we managed to get into Primark, but this will not be in the video. And at least that I'll try to get a Subway Smart Card ticket, but in the ticket office it says you may get to online for free. I decided to order a ScotRail Smart Card ticket, which is under €25. At least I'm under 25, so at least I must start a YouTube career. In Scotland, that people say I, but I don't really care. I speak a bit of English, a posh English. So, at least our next stop was Newton, when the train was also quieting down. And the train was going past another train, going to Lanark or Edinburgh. You can get services from Glasgow Central High Level to Edinburgh, Lanark, East Kilbride, and many more, like Ayr, Largs, and Joseph Harbour. As we approach Newton, this is where you can change here for Glasgow Central services. We decided to stay on for the run to Glasgow Central. And as we managed to get to Glasgow on time, we went past a familiar train called the Caledonian Sleeper, new Mark V coaches. So at least that a lot of people do love the Caledonian Sleeper. That a lot of people do. That people travel on them at midnight from London to Fort William, England to southern bits of United Kingdom. As I've been to Fort William, I've seen the Caledonian Sleeper with the first net rail logo. A lot of people have seen the Caledonian Sleeper night. As the train goes continues down to Glasgow, we are on the approach to Newton. And as you can may see that we're going past the back. As the train will be coming to
See when you're getting to Central, can you skip?
and as we're continuing to Newton, we will get more countrysides.
A cab tour, like what I said,
And we're getting to see the back roads, which go from Blantyre to Uddingston or Newton.
I'm sorry, but is that now our mission is close?
You can change at
That's our mission.
change
Yes.
Newton for services to Glasgow Central as we connect to the West Coast Main Line North. You can see some more trains from Glasgow Central. As we are approaching Newton, you get to see a beautiful 390 on the approach. Sometimes. And as we arrive at Newton, the train obviously comes to a stop to invite passengers to board. Now we're at Newton. Obviously that people were speaking Scottish, that which I don't understand. But a lot of people do like to speak Scottish every now and then. But I speak a posh English, to be quite honest. A lot of people don't. You speak a lot of Scottish in Scotland. That a lot of people do. That means a lot of people do speak Scottish. But as we depart on time for our next stop, which is Cambuslang, where you can see the Caledonian Sleeper and more trains coming past this area. The Caledonian Sleeper always comes past the Hamilton Circle. As we depart on time, we were not waiting for a train to pass. I was a bit annoyed that there was no West Coast trains running on the West Coast still. But there was an Avanti service from London Euston to Glasgow Central, which hopefully that one day I'll do a video on. And when we get up to high speeds, we see a Class 385 just passing our train to Glasgow Central, which is probably an express service to Edinburgh or Lanark. And as we're on the way to Cambuslang, see another train when we depart Cambuslang. Plus that people do speak a lot of Scottish in Scotland, and it decides to be quiet, so I can film this video on the train to Glasgow on Saturday. That a lot of people were just so quiet. It was nice to see a lot of people being nice and quiet. Like our driver when he waved today. As we're on the approach to Cambuslang, that a lot of people like to see the trains to Cambuslang. You can see above the rail that the trains usually run on is always sometimes in it is third rail. And as we arrive to Cambuslang, and as our train is getting passengers to board, as we're before our departures, or before our departure to Glasgow Central. And yes, there is plug sockets on the train for 320s, where they're always electric. 320s are EMU units, which were operated by ScotRail and SPT back in the day. And as the trains always do, as the train departed into Cambuslang, we're waiting to see the Caledonian sleeper, which does pass us on the video. And we pass these houses, which look really nice. That our Caledonian sleeper does pass us when we get to Network Rail's workshop, which is just next to the motorway, not that far from Lidl, just in Burnside. And as another train passes us, which is going to Edinburgh or Lanark or Larkhall or Motherwell, which does pass us at some point in this video. And there we go, there's the train which passes. And as we go over this beautiful bridge, which goes on to the M80, or the M8, a lot of people like to call it. And as we pass this beautiful countryside, continuing us to go next to the M8, which is for cars to drive to Silverburn, Ayr, Kilmarnock, East Kilbride, and many more places. And as we pass this beautiful countryside full of trees, that the Caledonian Sleeper is a good train, is a sleeper train from London to Fort William. And as we pass this beautiful section of track, the Caledonian Sleeper will be coming past. And there it is, coming past us. It was a beautiful Caledonian Sleeper with Mark 5 youth coaches into the Caledonian Sleeper livery. And as we're about to go into Glasgow Central Junction, which is our train junction, which will be going on
which will be continuing on to Rutherglen,
Caledonian.
which is a place in just outside of Glasgow. Now, I've been to Rutherglen many of times, and I've been there for to get a train to Exhibition Centre. And as we get to see the tunnel, and as we see some more track, I'm just continuing on to Rutherglen. And here we are approaching Rutherglen. You can change here for the town centre, and you can get the bus, which I've got the bus to Rutherglen many of times. And plus that my gran said that when the Argyle line was getting built, actually fixed, that a person decided to say to her that the Argyle line was getting fixed. As another train's about to depart, as we open our doors, and as that 320 is about to depart, or just departing now, we're just waiting for our passengers to board, which are continuing on to Dalmuir, Anderston, Exhibition Centre, Partick, Hindland, Jordan Hill, Scottstown Hill, Garthgadon, Yoker, Clydebank, and Dalmuir. As we're continuing on to Glasgow Central Low Level, that's what I forgot to say. And some people are getting off at Argyle Street, which is a street in Glasgow where you can go for Primark, Central Station, and Centenic Centre, and obviously the more shops.
As we depart Rutherglen on time to our next stop, which is Dalmarnock. Dalmarnock is not far, it's just across the River Clyde, as we will be passing over the bridge in a few minutes. There's a couple of sidings and a couple of warehouses just behind that Tesco's, where the safe place is, just right there. And as we're going over the River Clyde now, we're just about. It's not far from the Clyde. It's where you can get a bus, or if you're going to Emirates. As we're getting closer and closer to Dalmarnock, services to Motherwell via Wicklet, Motherwell via Hamilton Central, and Dalmuir via Singer and via Yoker. As we're approaching Dalmarnock, it normally says, "We are now approaching Dalmarnock. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform." But it didn't say that, so as we're about to depart on time, we're going to our next stop, which is Bridgerton. time again, which is the next stop, which is Argyle Street. At least then we managed to make it to Bridgerton on time. Saturday that a lot of people were getting on and off the train when I was getting the return train to Hamilton. Seeing that my train was cancelled with TransPennine Express, my mum has phoned train line, and yes, it comes with UK plug sockets. As we depart on time, our next stop, as we're now approaching Argyle Street, there's a wee hint at the end of the platform at Argyle Street of the old ScotRail logo saying Argyle Street. At the eastbound platform you get a seat of map, and at the westbound a lot of people were getting off here at Argyle Street for the shopping centre named St Enoch's. A lot of people just walking off the train, but some people, their friends, were getting off the train. As our train departs, I managed to get a good shot of the station when we were about to depart for our final stop, which is Glasgow Central Low Level. beep, 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 beep. And you go. As we're on the Glasgow subway, we managed to get a couple of videos and some photos. And I will see you on next Saturday.